The PMP exam has changed. It's 2021 and everything's different and the whole world should freak out, right? No. All right, here, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's different and what's not different and how you can benefit from it and actually get your PMP, because all the changes in my mind are positive. So let's walk through this thing and let's talk about what hasn't changed. Now, the past PMP and the new PMP are exactly the same in one critical, super duper, double, super important way that matters to you. So what is that way? Ooh, draw. It is that it's all situational, okay? Now, I know there's other types of questions where you can choose multiple of them in hot spots and whatever, but at the end of the day, the way we have to think about and answer these questions is exactly the same. It requires a deeper understanding, a situational understanding. You have to have the perspective of where you are and how you react positively. So in reality, nothing has changed, all right? And so that should either bring you comfort or make you scared, right? The people who it's going to make you scared is that you go, oh God, those are the questions that I'm bad at. Well, now we know the devil. Let's go chase him. All right, so now you know you're bad at those. It's how you look at it that caused you, how you look at studying that caused you to have problems with the previous exam. It's going to have you making, difficult times on the new one. So we can change that. We can fix it. Yay. Now, those of you that go, it's situational, sweet. It's because you look at it a different way. You think you're a good problem solver, all those things. So that's good. Now, that's what hasn't changed philosophically in the way in which the questions are. And you might say, Scott, how do you know that? Well, like as an ATP and like the premium ATP, they give us the training decks that walk through everything. So I've seen the perspective. I went to train the trainer with PMI and then also saw, most importantly, the questions and where they're referenced and what they have on them and how they're organized. And believe me, super duper double situational. Even like it just wraps around it. And for me, that makes me super happy because that's what we do as project managers. We walk into a situation, we diagnose it, and we react positively when other people can't. So put a little feather in your cap and say, that's what you do in real life. We just got to get good at doing it on the exam. There's a method. I can teach it to you. No big deal. Now, that's what's the same. What's different? The big thing was just waterfall. Now, what's it got? Agile and hybrid. Okie dokie. And so if you spent all the time in the past studying the waterfall method, like boop, let's put the full screen, bam, like that. And now you're like, oh God, I got to learn all this new stuff. I got to start from zero. Not technically. You got to start from half zero. All right. 50%. But what a benefit and blessing in a sense this is, that you get to understand both waterfall, traditional project management, building the Golden Gate Bridge type stuff, and agile. We're making a new app, a new feature on TikTok, whatever you want to call it. And we know the agile world and how to think through it. And thinking is really where it's all at. All right. What philosophically drives us, the thought process is the things that are underlying why these methodologies were developed and how they operate is what is going to help us understand it. Okay. So if we look at the change, meaning like we now have hybrid and agile, hybrid, agile, and waterfall, all come together, then it's a good thing if we look at it the right way. Now, here's a bump in the road for most people. How are we going to learn them? How are we going to learn them? Like, now think about this. If you were in my spot or you were in these other people's spot, you have multiple methodologies, and we'll talk about the way in PMI organize it with people, processes, business environment. How would you go about and teach it? It makes a difference, right? It makes a difference. Now, I don't know about you, but me, I can't put everything on top of each other and stack it like a Big Mac and have it make sense. The Big Mac example doesn't really work because I like Big Macs, but like stacking all these things in there and then just like all these competing like approaches and methodologies, and then I'll discern it. It kind of feels like bees going all around my head. Can I make sense? No. I need quiet. I need simplicity. I need flows. I need logic. So what I want to do is I want you to appreciate what you're learning. And I want you to walk through it and go, I'm going to learn waterfall from not just a memory-based thing. That's not me. Anti-memorization PMP guy, that's me. I want you to understand the philosophy, the approaches, how you react, and the structure. Okay, cool, you got that down. Then pop over. Look how I went to NPR voice. Like, I want you to pop over for the agile. Understand the philosophy behind that. How was it developed? How was it used? What are the mechanisms? What are the roles? How is it different? And then as we start to compare them both and get into the Agile world, we have perspective. Oh, I see these different worlds and how they operate and how they, deliver different things in different ways, but they're all complementary in different, kind of situations, and how I can see the big picture. If you don't do that, I think you're walking into a world of pain. Okay? I don't want you to do that. Don't do that. And so understand philosophically, big picture, how they both operate, and then bring them together. All the time, thinking through the situational, number one thing that didn't change, perspective. Okay? If you can do that, you got this game beat. Now, doing it on your own is difficult. We can do it with you, all those things. We would love to help you. Come and let us help you. So let's talk about the other thing that you're probably freaking out about. Two things. One is, oh, Scott, but there's all these new fancy questions like hotspots and choosing multiple things, and I got to choose A and B or B and C or whatever. How do I deal with that? Whoa. Slow down. General philosophy, slow down. Take a breath. And let's think about this. All these questions, at their core, are interpretational, situational type questions. What do I mean? Let's think about like a process control chart, quality thing, right? What they're going to do is they're going to paint one out, and it's going to have a pattern on it. And you're basically going to have to say, is it good or bad? What should we have done? When should we have known? How should we react now? Now, how would you answer that question? It's no different. And I think this is the genius of what they're doing in PMI, is that if you're in a meeting and somebody brings you one and shows you a chart, that you don't look like a buffoon, right? You can actually look at it and interpret, oh, goodness me, that's out of control. Does anybody understand why? What? And you'd ask the right questions. What have we done to understand? What kind of root cause has we done? What did the operator say? Like, where are we now? What's the process? But to do that, you have to understand how it's structured, who created it in a sense of like why it was developed as a tool, all those things. So at the end, it all goes back. It might be a fancy way to look at it, but it's real simple. Do we know what it means? Can we interpret it? Simple as that. And that's all I do. That's all you should do. That's all the way you think through stuff. So that's one type, like the multiple questions. And then now, the domains: people, process, business environment. I love it. Like, I love the philosophy. Think about philosophically. Starts with people. That's what we do. We guide people through an experience called a project to deliver value. What the bookends? People, business environment. Like, that's what we're doing. We're creating value for our stakeholders, our sponsor, all the people there through processes, right? So boom, 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 what we're doing. And what it does, I think, really well is it's another mental model, which a mental model is just a way to organize our brain to see things and organize content to make it make sense. Now, what we're doing here as we break down is that it's just organize it more in a beginning to end type of approach, building a team all the way through delivering value and all these things that go through it. So that's really good. Now, what doesn't change, like we said, is the core fundamentals: Agile Practice Guide, Pmbok 6, now layered in with this new content and the new organization structure. If you have a Sherpa or a guide to bring you through, easy peasy, not a problem to go through this stuff. But think about what they're doing. They're imbuing both these things together, which is good, but dangerous to navigate, but it can be done. And they're really imbuing a philosophy of servant leadership, pulled from Agile, but in the actual content. And really, if you don't know what servant leadership is, I'll teach you all about it in a later video, but like, it's the bee's knees, okay? You got to understand how you can humble yourself and support your team by creating conditions to allow them to be successful, constantly asking why, constantly supporting them, constantly building them up. Not taking a disciplinary road, kind of building the system of your people to be more successful and doing it with them. And so that's really good. And that's what they're trying to get through with the content. I think they do a magical job at it. Okay. And so where do you go now? You know that, hey, Scott just explained it. I can take a breath. Yeah, it's situational, but I know that now the reason why I had problems in 2020 is because I didn't appreciate the situationalness. Now I can do it. Sweet. We know the problem. We can solve it. Great. All right. Now we think about how we go about and do it. We know there's new questions, there's new domains, all that stuff, and there's Agile, which for a lot of people, that's not their main expertise land, but it's such a great thing because you get to learn it, and once you know it, both sides of the street and how they work together or used together, then you could go into any meeting, any company, and be able to operate. Oh, that looks like a daily stand-up meeting. Oh, when are you doing your next retrospective? Oh, where are we in the iteration? Like, what are we doing here? All these different things. You'll get the language. You'll know the mechanism. You'll know the reasons. Woo, you'd be better off for life. All right. So what do we do now? Well, first thing we need to do is take a breath, slow down, and get on the path of learning like we talked about. Now, you can do it on yourself. You can do it with an elf, and you can do it by yourself. But what we want to do it is we want to come back and we can guide you through this. And so we have a method. It's all situational based. It's all flow based. It's all visual. It's all interactive, heavy interaction with how we solve problems, how we approach problems, how we think through things, how we make sense and make the content yours. Because if I can make the content yours, you can go into the exam and navigate it just like you do your regular life with your own mind, your own confidence, and your own initiative. That's all they're going for. We can do that. So if you'd like to have us help you, come on, knock on our door. We'll open it up. Go and apply. We don't accept everybody. We want to make sure that we share a same philosophy of learning, a same approach. We understand where you're coming from, and we can work with you. All you got to do, either first thing, call me, 757-759-5282. That's my phone number. Try it out. Email me, Scott@PMmasterPrep.com, or go to our website, hit a button, apply for the accelerator, fill out some stuff, help me understand where you are, what you want to do, what you've done up to this point, what your learning style's like, etc., etc. It'll help me align and my team align to serving you. And then we'll get started and we'll rock and roll on this thing. So simple as that. I hope you understand and you have a little bit of peace and calm about the new exam and actually get excited about it, because at the end of the day, guys, the PMP should be an exciting endeavor. I know it sounds crazy, but we make it fun and make it easy and make it yours. So let's do this thing. See you soon. Use my phone number, 757-759-5282. Use my email, Scott@PMmasterPrep.com. Go hit those buttons. Let's do this together. See you later, alligator.